Welcome to episode 2 of Creator Analysis, a series where I delve into a creator's levelography and analyze their skill as a creator. The creator I will be focusing on today is 2003devin, a talented art creator who is known for making some of the most twisted levels in Geometry Dash. Devin's style is often compared to Xylonox's style, because of the shading and layering they use being pretty similar. Devin's style incorporates theming in a brilliant way, making each and every one of his levels super memorable. What really separates Devin from other creators is the types of themes he chooses to explore in his levels. Oftentimes, creators choose really basic themes that are still cool, but definitely don't have the shock value that Devin's levels have. Devin is not afraid to explore some of the darkest themes there is to choose from, spanning from snuff films to poop factories. He did say that his horror levels are inspired off of movies he likes, and he told me that his favorite movie is August Underground. This is a really strange movie that doesn't seem to be well known at all. Google labels it as an exploitation film, which I didn't even know was a genre. The movie is absolutely horrifying. It's about two serial killers who film themselves doing terrible things to their victims, and it's recorded in a way that it seems real. The budget for this movie was just $300, which is insanely low. I actually considered watching the movie, but it seemed way too disturbing for me, and I'm a guy who watches a lot of scary movies. I did, however, watch some breakdowns of the movie and some scenes, and dear God is it unsettling. If you'd like to watch a breakdown of the movie, I'd recommend this video. Just don't watch it if you have a weak stomach. Interestingly enough, I can actually see the inspiration from this movie in Devin's levels. Man takes a lot of inspiration from this movie. Man is the most NSFW level in Geometry Dash in several ways, which is why I won't be giving it a full review, but I think it's interesting to compare and contrast August Underground with this level. For example, this transition is similar to an actual part in the movie where, let's just say the guy liked anatomy. The end screen in this level is also inspired from a scene in the movie towards the end, where the two serial killers have fun in a convenience store. The first level I will be fully reviewing is Old Rust Don't Dry, one of Devin's better levels that isn't too inappropriate for YouTube. The main theme of this level is pollution and how it affects the world from the surface all the way down to the deepest parts of the ocean. The beginning of the level takes place somewhere? I really have no idea what this part is all about. One common trend you'll notice in a lot of Devin's levels is that they often include tons of randomness throughout. My favorite random element is the weird messages he puts throughout his levels. My favorite one in Old Rust Don't Dry is this one.
Okay guys, I've been working on this outfit for some time now, and my stepmom Karen says I'm not allowed to wear it out tonight. I mean, like, respect the drip, Karen.
These strange messages are in every level, and I absolutely love them. It adds so much character to his levels, and makes each and every one of them so memorable. He actually inspired 050 to do the same, who I made my last creator analysis on. Anyways, back to the level. After the weird intro, you find yourself in a type of jungle-infested factory. Or is it a jungle infected by a factory? In the background, you see a daunting smokestack emitting thick, black smoke. This detail is incredibly well made, and I am really impressed by how the smoke looks. This part has such stunning art and designs that work together to build an incredible atmosphere. The texturing on the trees and blocks is so well thought out, and prevents the art from looking flat. Devin even took the time to add bits of rust to the factory designs, which really goes to show how much time was put into just this one part. Once you leave the surface, you find yourself underwater surrounded by parts of a factory. This part doesn't pay as much attention to detail, as there isn't much texturing and there is somehow fire even though you're under the water. What this part does introduce is incredible mechanical moving blocks. You can see the rotating arms moving around the gears and blocks, which is way harder to do than it looks. I'm pretty sure you literally need to do math to make mechanics like this work. Math. You'll notice the genius use of rotate triggers a lot in Devin's levels. It's clear that he knows what he's doing when it comes to figuring out functions like this. The level in the background right now is Alika, and notice how when the hammers hit something, the whole screen shakes. An actual good use of the shake trigger. Another element this part excels in is the oil spill effect. The spacing and placement of the black glow balls is so subtle yet so good, and makes it look really realistic. The pollution worsens and leads you deeper into the ocean where the effects of the pollution are really visible. There's a ton of dead fish floating around, and the color scheme becomes much darker. The use of the classic spike decorations makes this part feel even more corrupted. Little gray particles are floating around that resemble some sort of pollution that probably shouldn't be this deep in the ocean. Once again, there is incredible texturing and atmosphere, which ties this part with the first as my favorite of the entire level. From this point forward, the level starts to go downhill. You go even deeper into the ocean and find yourself in a weird lightning cave of some sort. While the blocks have great texturing and shading, there is basically no background or foreground decoration, along with no spikes or really any other details. The other parts so far have all had great gameplay mechanics and details that made them really memorable. In comparison, this part is empty and overall just really lacking. The lightning strikes are cool, but I don't understand why they're at the bottom of the ocean. This trend of poor gameplay continues into the last part of the level, dubbed Marianas Trench, the deepest part of the ocean. There is a weird boss fight against a robotic dragon which really doesn't fit the level at all. There's virtually no pulses or color changes, just leaving you with this boring and washed out gray color the entire time. I honestly don't understand why this part is even in the level. It doesn't fit at all and really brings down the quality of the level as a whole. The only redeeming factor is at the very end when the two dragons turn to stone and the level ends. I really like that. The part isn't terrible, but it just doesn't fit the aesthetic of the level. I can't review this level without mentioning how unique and innovative the gameplay is. Devin is known for his out-of-the-box gameplay mechanics, especially when it comes to weird orbs. He's one of the only gameplay creators that utilizes the multi-activate function that orbs have, which can be seen several times in this level. The gameplay goes downhill at the boss fight, as it really isn't anything we've never seen before. It's just typical boss fight gameplay. Again, this part isn't terrible, but it's certainly nothing special.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you.
The next level I'll be covering is Witter, a level without a consistent theme, rather opting for a wide selection of cartoonish and far-out settings. Devin actually said that this is his favorite level that he's made, and I think I'd have to agree with that. You start off in a desert, which is made clear by the colors and the extremely well-textured rock blocks. This part really goes out of the box with gameplay, with rocks rolling down the structures you have to dodge, and scaffolding you can jump through and actually land on. Devin also decided to add film reel borders that make this part almost seem like an old western movie. Originally I thought the random rain clouds were weird, but now I realize they're supposed to be like fake rain props for a movie, made apparent by the gears in the clouds. I didn't even notice this my first few times watching this level, and that just goes to show how much replay value Devin's levels have. Every time I watch them, I notice a new detail. Simply amazing. Upon getting crushed by the Tox Box from Mario, you find yourself in an underground factory type setting. There isn't much to be said about this part, other than it of course has nice shading and texturing as usual, and I also like the sort of green color scheme we went for in this part. The next part is where things really spice up. Can we talk about just how cool this part is? The roof designs are perfect, the water is perfect, the background is perfect, the stones are perfect, the roots growing out of the old buildings are perfect, the grass is perfect, the particles are perfect, everything is perfect. Every element and subtle detail of this part mesh together beautifully to create arguably the most unique and stunning part Devin has ever built. Just look at this still frame. If you told me this is from another video game, I'd honestly believe you. It's just that good. The part ends with a ton of moving roof platforms, which gives me total Mario vibes. I love it. And it doesn't end there. Right after that beautiful part, you enter the finale, which is just total disco awesomeness. The shades of pink and purple he used, paired with the flashing disco lights, go together like peanut butter and jelly. The epic gameplay and the distortion of the song work together so well. I literally can't say a single negative thing about this part. It's just that good. Literally the only downside to this level is that the song isn't on Newgrounds, which really is a shame. If I were to be really nitpicky, I guess I could say the background clouds in the first part don't really fit the aesthetic of the other decorations, and maybe that the ship part midway through is kind of awkward and lackluster compared to the rest of the level. But again, those are just nitpicks. Overall, this level is freaking amazing, and I'd love for it to be epic rated. Unfortunately, since the song is not on Newgrounds, it can only be featured. Typically levels with not on Newgrounds songs aren't given epic unless the level is a huge deal like Cold Sweat or Nehelv. And with that, I conclude this video. I somehow wrote 2,000 words about this guy's levels, so you know he's a good creator. I'll link his socials in the description, along with my Discord server, which is getting close to 300 members. Thank you so much for watching. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Have a great day.